Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is VitruvianPhysique. Thank you for stopping by. So today I had a really awesome video idea. I actually even, I was recording it yesterday and I made this whole Snapchat rant even. I was just going on and on about it. I was like,
it really reminds me of Greg Plitt, because he's, I remember what...
And yeah, I did all that stuff. By the way, if you're not following me on Snapchat, well, why not? There it is. VitPhysique. I do a lot of, posts about my diet, what I'm eating, my macros, and in addition, my training plans. So sometimes I'll actually have Jordan go and film one set of each one of my exercises throughout the entire day, and then you can kind of combine it together and you have an entire full day workout. So I think it's a great resource for 70% good information, and the other 30% is just dumb shit that I do. But I filmed this video and I really liked it, right? I really got into it, and I come home and I got 12 minutes worth of footage, and the sound was just dead. The wind just ruined it. I didn't really want to upload a video which is just 10 minutes of... Yeah, so instead I'll probably just re-record that sometime later today, or potentially this weekend, and have that vlog up later, because it really is a topic that I feel so passionate about when I have to talk about it. So pretty much in those situations when plan A fell through, that's just life. You gotta deal with it and you gotta move forward. And plan B, I think with my channel, is just the foundation of why I started it and why it grew to where it is now. Not saying it's massive or anything, but it's doing okay. It's just cutting through the bullshit and giving you guys clear information that you can use to improve your life from a nutritional, fitness, whatever standpoint. So without further ado, I have an email. It's called VitruvianQA@gmail.com, and you guys are feel free to send questions in, and I get a lot of questions there, and I can't always answer all of them, unfortunately, and I apologize for that because there are just so many. But every now and then, such as in this case, I'll pick out 5 or 6 questions which really be good in a spontaneous Q&A, or maybe just separate video topic ideas, and I'll answer them. So without further ado, I'll be throwing up some workout footage. This is from my most recent hypertrophy back day and heavy leg day. It's about 325 for sets on the squats, and I'm doing 4 sets of 8 of 45 pounds in additional weight on the weighted pull-ups, which is awesome because since I've hit my target rep set structure, I'm now able to progress. And next week we're gonna be doing 50 pounds on the pull-ups, which is awesome because that's the most I've ever done. So, we'll look for that coming up soon. Question 1, I am a big fan of yours. Number 1, thank you, I appreciate that. I just want to ask if heavy deadlifts and squats will make your waist bigger. If yes, what should I do to avoid getting a bigger waist? The answer is probably no. This is a myth that I've heard about for years, ever since I started training legit. And in my personal experience, I went from a 225 squat to a 425 squat, and a 315 deadlift to a 530 deadlift, and I did not notice any visual, changes to my waist resulting, specifically from that. The 3 things which do affect your waist, in my opinion, is number 1, simply fat. Between the off season, when I get to a body fat percentage, in the high teens, and I weighing 200 pounds plus, and then when I cut down, when I was weighing 172 pounds during the summer of this year, my waist literally went from 33 inches, or not 32 inches, all the way down to 29, 28 and a half. So we're talking 3 to 4 inches in waist reduction, simply from body fat reduction. Most, subcutaneous fat, but for the most of it, when it comes to the waist, probably comes from the depletion of visceral fat, the fat that we have in our torso or midsection, particularly prevalent in men. Women tend to hold it more on their lower bodies. Men, it's their torso, specifically their visceral fat, and their lower back subcutaneous fat. So you cut, your waist is going to shrink. And the other 2 things are simply your muscular structure and your bone structure. These 2 are dictated by your genetics, and there's nothing you can do about it. When I say your muscular structure, I mean, in addition to your abs, there's also your obliques, which are kind of on the sides of your torso. Now, depending on how those insert, they could look a little bit differently. For example, some individuals just have naturally thicker, meaty obliques. It's 2 steaks hanging off of their waist. And in doing so, you are strong, yeah, and it helps for compound lifts for stabilization. But the problem is you might get the appearance of a wider waist. And same thing with bone structure. If you have naturally, wide hips, if your pelvis is wide, there's nothing you can do about it unless you literally start to file them down, or you go back in time and tell your mom to do it with another guy. There's nothing you can do about that. I will never have a crazy waist I believe his name was Brian Buchanan or something like that. He was an IFBB pro back in the 80s. He's the most ridiculous waist I've ever seen. Honestly, his waist to shoulder ratio must have been 1 to not even 2, but 1 to 2.5, which is ridiculous. I've heard that it's a bad idea to eat a lot of carbs in the morning if you were trying to lose weight because the body makes a natural burn of fat at night. Not sure what that means. If yes, how come? And is this why intermittent fasting is good when it comes to trying to lose weight? Okay, so meal timing and meal frequency is not nearly as important as some people believe it to be. Back like 5, 10, 15 years ago, it kind of was, but that was incorrect. It's just that it's just simply misinformation, or most people were just uninformed about this. In reality, what you eat, your calories, your macros, even your micronutrients, all these things are way more important than simply meal timing. So you could theoretically eat 2 meals within like 6 hours, and you can be doing intermittent fasting, like legit intermittent fasting, where you're only eating for like a 4 to 6 hour period. That's fine. You can be eating the opposite. You can be eating 8 small meals and eating from like 7 in the morning until 1 at night, and you have carbs at night, you have carbs in the morning. It doesn't matter, as long as you eat the proper amounts of carbohydrates, fats, proteins, calories. What you eat is much more important than when you eat it. Carbs at night, carbs before bed, carbs 4 in the morning. You can wake up and eat oatmeal. I don't care when you eat it. What you eat will always be king. I'm interested in understanding how sponsorships work. For example, he goes into detail about a promotion I did a couple months ago. Could you explain how to get in contact with companies and negotiate deals and things like that? Okay, so there's 2 different kinds of sponsorships. Number 1 is legit sponsorships. For example, I have Alphalete for clothing and MyProtein for supplements. And this is like an ongoing thing where you sign a contract and you're kind of like locked in for 6 months or a year or whatever. And then there are one-time promotions. One-time promotions may be like people who, all those things you see online for like teeth whiteners or like, or scales or whatnot. Those things are usually one-time promotions, or maybe 3-time promotions where you sign a contract and you'll be like, we'll pay you a small fee of X, 100 or 1,000, whatever dollars it may be. Obviously, the bigger channel, the more money you're going to get. And we'll give you this fee if you feature our product on 2 Instagram posts or like 1 YouTube video for 60 seconds in the beginning of the video, or whatever it may be. And in both cases, they're the exact same when it comes to, attracting these kind of promotions. It's all about social media. Guys, these companies, like, they could have, we have like our brand image and we have our mission statement, and we're like, oh, we're a family, want to do all these things and we want to change the world. That's great and all, that's fantastic. You want to be with a company that actually has, something behind it, some substance. But at the end of the day, the most important thing is simply profit. Every company is in it, has always been and always will be in it to simply profit. That is the underlying motive behind all companies, both to succeed and also to not go bankrupt. That's usually a good thing. But in order to do this, they need to market. And marketing is much more effective through social media. In fact, it's been proven to be, several times more effective than basic marketing in the form of newspapers, TV ads, or whatnot. So if you want to, be attractive to these companies to have like sponsorships or promotions, you simply need a bigger social media influence. That's like 90% of it. The other 10% of it is obviously like, do you align good with our brand? If I'm a fitness, if I'm like a healthy, positive fitness lifestyle brand, and you're a negative person, you're like homophobic, racist, you're a douche, you look like shit, you're unhealthy, and you somehow manage to get a big social media following, I'm still not going to want to work with you, despite the fact that you may have a massive, reach of people, you have a massive audience. I still don't want to align my brand with your brand, because it's almost gonna like degrade my brand because you're negative, bad, whatever it may be. And in terms of reaching out to them, they'll reach out to you. Every single sponsorship or every single promotion that I've done on my channel to date, they have reached out to me, and I was like, all right, cool, we can work together. There's only one, which is MyProtein. I actually reached out to them because I decided that at my channel, it was a certain size that's, it's not laughable for me to get a protein or a supplement sponsorship. And I decided that I would reach out to MyProtein because they're a company which I felt that I aligned with them very good. I like their products, I like their brand, I like the athletes that they currently have, so I thought they're the best fit for me, and these are products that I could actually get behind and talk about on my channel and essentially market them and not feel like a sellout. Number 5, my current training split is push-pull legs, and I was wondering if I could do a pull-up every day program, or would this be overtraining? I have heard about similar things like this. For example, the Bulgarian squat program, where you are squatting every day. A couple of people I know who did this. My friend and teammate Russell, or Russwole on YouTube, he actually did this. I don't think he does it anymore, but he did this a while ago with squats, and obviously it worked for him because his legs are incredible and his squat is like 600 plus pounds. And I'm sure he was, it probably was difficult in the beginning, but he did adapt to it eventually, to the point where like he was having adequate recovery. However, your actual workouts would have to be very small. You can't have a legit hard, crazy workout every single day, but I don't think I would advocate it. The ideal training frequency for a muscle group when it comes to things like hypertrophy is 2 to 3 times per week. So at most 3 workouts per week, each workout being about 40 to 70 reps in total. How you set that up with your sets and rep structure is up to you, but that is the ideal. So if you work out every day, I mean, that's 7 workouts. That's like double the maximum recommended frequency of training a muscle group. That's a bit high. I think you would have problems with muscle protein synthesis recovery. Your muscles aren't recovered sufficiently, and also central nervous system recovery. You're gonna need about, we're talking like 48 hours for muscle protein synthesis, which is why I think it's best, again, 2 to 3 workouts for that muscle group per week. That way you have like 1 or 2 days in between each successive workout. You can come back fully rested, fully recovered, and get a good workout as opposed to having several crappy workouts. Number 6, I have been watching your channel for a while, bro, and you are a huge inspiration to me. Once again, thank you, I appreciate that. And it's still kind of weird to be called like an inspiration or something. I'm like, I don't get it, but nonetheless, it is very flattering, and I do appreciate it. As foreign and weird as that word being used in the same sentence as me, it's a bit weird to me, but still, it's awesome. I'm a 16-year-old guy, and I've been weightlifting for 3 years, and I haven't been able to make the changes I've wanted. I'm 143 pounds. I'm not very strong or muscly. I'm kind of a fat/muscular hybrid. I weigh 143 pounds and I'm 6 feet tall. And I have a lot of extra fat. Okay, that's really weird because if you're 143 and 6 feet, that's actually really lean. I mean, that's a very skinny guy. So if you have a lot of fat, that indicates to me that your actual muscle mass must be like really tiny. I mean, you must have a lean body mass of like 100 pounds or something, which right off the bat, that is a problem. I've gotten sick of being fat and I just ended a 5-month cut. Okay, that's also weird because it's like you've been cutting for 5 months. Let's see, I don't know what to do anymore. I didn't make the changes I wanted. It seems like I'm not changing. Okay, so I'll be honest, bro. In your case, like, this isn't something I could answer quickly in a video. This isn't even something I could answer quickly in an email. This would be like a big, like, this requires a lot more work. I think there's 2 things that I advocate to you. Number 1, there isn't just one specific problem. It's not like, oh, you need to train more frequently or this one aspect of your diet. It's like a whole system, right? Your overall training, your overall nutrition, your overall maybe even like lifestyle needs some tweaks, some big tweaks. So there's 2 things I advocate very much so. Number 1 is you need to research a lot more. You're 16, so you're still young, so don't be afraid to make mistakes. I'm not judging you or criticizing you by any means. I'm just saying that like definitely some improvements are possible and probably necessary in your case if you want to. So first of all, I would advocate doing a lot more research. Look up guys like Eric Helms, Alan Aragon, Brad Schoenfield, Lyle McDonald. In terms of YouTube, look up guys like Omar Isuf, Jeff Cavalier, or Athlean X as he's known on here. All of those resources are fantastic, and you will get plenty of examples of information regarding nutrition, regarding training splits, cardio, everything. I mean, if you're training for 3 years, you're not a noob anymore. But if you're 143 pounds at 6 feet, that means you're very small, even though you've been training for 3 years. But at the same time, you have a lot of excess body fat, and you've been cutting for 5 months, but the body fat it's not reducing. There's a lot of problems here. Again, not criticizing you in any way, shape, or form, but the first thing I would advocate is doing a lot of research. People say that, abs and your physique is built in the kitchen. I disagree. It's built in books, articles, websites, YouTube. It's built up here first and foremost, because if you don't know what to do, then you're just gonna go in circles and make no improvements. And the second thing I would advocate, this is optional, is if you want to skip all this research stuff, because for me it took years to really wrap my head around all of it, is you can go for a coach, because a coach can really explain to you what to do, and preferably if he's a good coach, why you're doing this. So it's kind of like you'll improve and at the same time learn how to improve. That way after you're done, with your 1, 2, 3, whatever months with your coach, you can go on and for the rest of your life use what you learned and improve upon it. Now I'm not saying myself, I do offer coaching. There's a link down in the description below if you are interested, but with anybody at all. And there's 2 things that I recommend you look for in a coach. Number 1 is make sure that they actually know what they're talking about. They're not just some guy who puts up a bunch of photos of his abs and he's like, oh well, he's lean, so I guess he must know. No, look for someone who actually does seem like he knows what he's talking about, provides a lot of good informative content, and you can learn from them, and you have learned from them, and you just want to learn more from them in a more professional, structured setting. And the other thing is make sure you actually like them, because the person can be a genius, but if they're a douche and you guys just don't work well together in terms of communication, it's not going to work out either, because you may learn a lot but you're not going to enjoy the process. So again, whether it be me or whether it be anyone, but you definitely need some assistance, because I'm looking at these numbers and I'm like, this just isn't lining up. I'd probably have to see a photo to be honest, but there's definitely a lot of work, a lot of improvement that needs to be done here. Either way guys, that's it. Thank you for watching this video. I apologize if it went very long as always, and I'm excited to refilm that video probably with better sound quality and have it up in the next few days, because it's friggin' awesome, and I was so passionate about this, and it's really a topic which I've wanted to talk about for a good while now. But either way, in the meantime, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you guys have an awesome weekend, and I'll see you in the next video. One last thing, guys. This Sunday, December 4th at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, I'll be doing a live Q&A on the MyProtein Facebook page. So if you enjoyed this video and you like asking me questions in general, you can do so then and do it live. So come check it out, ask me whatever you want, and I personally guarantee that 100% of you will wake up the next day looking like Superman, but with 22-inch arms.
60% of the time, it works every time.